Welcome to the One More Rep podcast. We're taking beyond the barbell. I'm your host, Mo Dingo, and across from me is Brody. How are you, sir?
Good. My mom was just calling me.
Oh, do we need to break and answer that?
I'm gonna send her a text.
Okay. Hey, Mom.
We are
I did
recording
my chores.
a podcast that you've not listened to yet.
Well, she has to listen to episodes like past.
Yeah,
we cleaned ourselves up right around like 15, I think.
Yeah, thanks, Genacron. Thanks for making us feel really bad about ourselves.
But we're doing our best to be a family show, so that way, you can listen to this while you're taking the kids to school and all that good stuff.
Or taking a dump.
Yeah. Which I know when people are having quality time.
Look, Mo, our episodes are so good that they're faking having to take a dump at work so they can go finish it, because we went past the 30-minute mark all the time now. So,
yes, we have.
So their commute, actually Blake was telling me about this. Like he pulled in the base. He said he's about to take a paperwork so he can finish the episode.
That's like, nice.
But he didn't want to do it because he just got promoted. He thought that would be bad.
Yeah, especially like if your legs fall asleep.
Well, this is him. He just pulled in on the base.
Oh, and he just sitting in the parking lot?
Yeah, he was going to take a ride up. Not paperwork like wiping your ass, Mo.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant.
No. Like he was going to take a ride up, but he just got promoted and he thought that'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do that, bro. Technical sergeant is the hardest rank to make in the Air Force. So yeah, you don't want to squeeze that, bro. But congratulations, by the way. If we haven't mentioned it, Blake Mayhem, one of our listeners.
Was it Mayhem or Maham?
Maham, yeah. I like to add that German feel to it. Yeah, that's where he is, in Deutschland. So yeah, one of our early supporters and pretty much an ambassador of the show.
Dang,
Blake
you hear
Mayhem.
that, Blake?
Blake Mayhem.
Meg's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, along with team. They're their team.
Oh, that's not what you said, Mo. That's not what you said. You said Blake is an ambassador. You didn't say anything about Meg.
As well as Meg.
Yeah.
Megasaurus Rex. But yeah, he just recently got promoted. So huge shout out to him. Technical Sergeant E6 in the Air Force is one of the most challenging ranks to make. And he was recently selected. So
why is it challenging? Because I don't know.
It's just, there's kind of like that bottleneck when it comes to promotion that's like right in that middle rank. And when you make that decision to make the Air Force a career, that's like the most challenging step to get over. Competitive in terms of scores and what you need to do to make that level. So just like how in that last episode we talked about taking it to the next level, this is like, you actually committed to going to regionals at this point. So now the competition's a lot more challenging. Everybody's getting out, taking leadership opportunities. So those opportunities become smaller and smaller. So you have to take what you have and make those opportunities bigger and bigger. And that's where it gets challenging. So for him to make that is a significant accomplishment.
That's really cool, man. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that not everybody's in the military.
Well, that, and you probably forget because it's been 20 years.
Yeah, it's been 20 years since I was a tech sergeant.
Right. See, Blake, this is going to be you in 20 years. You're going to have your podcast.
Remember when we actually had to use wires on our microphones? All right. As always, thank you for the likes, subscriptions, and follows. Keep sharing the show with those people that are outside of the loop that haven't had the chance to get some of this One More Rep podcast goodness.
World domination.
Not
regional, Mo. I seen you. Mo said we're regional.
It was a question mark.
No, that's like almost like a statement. We're beyond regional now, bro. Just accept it. We just have about as many countries that listen to us as we do states.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Pretty damn close.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, we get a lot of traffic from Sweden.
What's up?
And Spain. That's pretty cool. So if you're listening out there in some of those foreign countries, hit us up in the comments below and tag your box. It's we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Outside listenership.
Send us some of your athletes too.
Yeah, if you're from, we've had a couple downloads from Iceland.
Yeah.
Send us some of that water, because that's got to be
or some DNA.
One of the two.
Yeah, we'll make shit happen on the podcast. We'll start. We'll be mad scientists, Mo. We're going to create the ultimate athlete.
Yeah, there we go.
We're going to inject you with that DNA and see what happens.
Oh, that might be money wasted. So we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, 75 Clothing, making badass gear for your badass ventures. We had a chat with Wally. He's the owner this morning, and he told us a pleasant surprise that we weren't fully aware of, but he's going to be here.
Yeah. So we have Smash Fest coming up just a little less than a month here at our gym. We have over 160 competitors at this one. It's our second biggest event that we hold. Bloody Valentine's definitely our largest. We always hit around 200.
Yeah.
And he's making the trip up here from Tennessee, which is really cool. And he's going to set up and going to sell his stuff, and he's giving some prizes. And also the next day, he just said that I wrote Mo into working out. Wally brought it up. I don't know how Mo feels about working out after Smash Fest. I know I'm pretty beat up, but so we're going to try to possibly work out, and then he's going to be on one of our podcasts.
Yep. So you guys will get to hear from him, and we'll talk a little bit about the origins of his company and his CrossFit story. So that'll be pretty sweet.
Well, yeah, because we were trying to get some more information on the company, and we asked him what gets him through the tough times, because he's in a very competitive market, meaning retail, especially in CrossFit.
Especially CrossFit.
So what I liked what Wally said is that he likes the competitiveness of the business, which when there's competition, it pushes you harder, or you don't push harder, and then you become a sideshow.
You can become a statistic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like Stu says, competition makes us faster.
Yeah. I mean, I compared him to him being a good CrossFit gym.
Yes, you did.
And then some of his competitors being a bad CrossFit gym, because he goes the extra mile. He puts the work in. He's not afraid to hit the grindstone. He was just in Charlotte last week. He's in Alabama this
weekend. Yeah.
He's coming up to ours. And he lives in Tennessee. It's not like he's driving 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah, several hours and a lot of resources that are required to get him to these locations.
Yeah, you have to get a hotel. You have to come up a day early.
Yep.
You have to set up. You have to sell all day, which is an all day event. That's if you've never run an all day event, it's very fatiguing.
Just standing.
Yeah.
It might be real easy to say, oh, he's just standing there selling shirts, but you have to stand there all day selling shirts.
And you're talking to people and you're
trying to build relationships.
Right. And that's another thing he said he'd like to do. He likes to go to these events to build these relationships. And I think as a business, that's something we're going to talk about in the future episode, is the customer service type atmosphere you have to have as an owner on every aspect. And it's unfortunately, it's the most forgotten thing or
underappreciated, underutilized.
Yeah. Your members appreciate it
exactly
when it's done. It's the owners who fail to, when they, like we talk about, they get out of the honeymoon stage of owning a gym and they're established and they got money, revenue coming in, they get laxed. Yeah. Guess what? Your members see it now. All right. I mean, maybe because of a little help to us, but I mean, we're calling them out on their bullshit, Mo. That's just how it is. It is bullshit. You want to be that owner? Go ahead.
But not listeners of this show.
No,
not you guys. All you guys that will become owners at one point.
Yeah. You guys are honestly, you're in the playbook. You think I'm joking? Listen to these episodes. A lot of stuff that we say, we joke around and have a good time. A lot of stuff that I share is actual personal experience, things that can help you set up. You don't have to run everything like me, but I think there's a lot of info out there to where you can see what's right and wrong. It's that simple. Do what's right for the people.
Yep. And they'll take care of you.
Yeah. You do what's wrong and they're going to leave you. Peace.
Drop. All right. So today's episode kind of correlates to some things that Brody just talked about. And sometimes you're able to discover some of these things that we've talked about. And we are going to discuss why you should visit other gyms. So like if you're out on a vacation, out on a business trip, there's probably safe to say that there's a CrossFit facility somewhere near you, whether it's branded or not. It's because that's one of the first things I do whenever I'm going to another city is like, okay, well, where's the closest gym to my hotel? Just so I can kind of get that experience. Have you done a lot of drop-ins like in your travels? Yeah. When you were in Florida for the wedding, didn't you drop in somewhere?
Yep.
Okay.
I think it really starts even before you go. You kind of research the gym, like what gyms are available, their hours, and I don't care what the workouts are. I mean, if they haven't posted, I'll look at them, but I don't care. But I still, as an owner, I go and I'll watch their videos. If I see it's some sloppy ass videos of people, they don't care about technique and form, I'm not even going to give them the attention. Next thing I do is I'll send a message direct on Facebook, and you'd be shocked. They don't know I'm an owner because I don't say, "Hey, I'm an owner. I'm coming here." How they don't respond to you, it's mind blowing and instantly gone. Bye bye.
And that's unfortunately what happened to me when I was in New York right before my retirement, my grandmother turned 100, and there was a gym literally right down this street from my hotel. So as soon as I figured that out, I sent him a message. And that's when I kind of shout out, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I was like, hey, how long should I wait for a response from a gym? And everybody was saying 24 hours to within a couple hours. I think that's pretty reasonable. It all varies, but a lot of it just depends on how much time you have to spend and how much you value that external traffic. Well, basically I went on that trip, 6 weeks ago, and still haven't got a response.
Yeah. And that happens. Very rarely have I had something go into my spam. It has happened through my website.
But I shot him an email too.
I'm saying email, definitely. Now, direct message on Facebook, that's, you see when they see it. And it's, there's a couple things that can go into it. First, they're just a crappy gym. Okay.
Could be, yeah.
Owners don't care. 2, they have someone that's overseeing that and they don't care. And the owners don't know that they don't care.
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
3, maybe they were busy and just forgot to get back to you. But I think that's an excuse. So that doesn't, I'm taking number 3 away. So I don't like excuses. There's no reason. I don't care how busy you are. If you're that busy, then you should be good at customer service, right? If you're that busy, you
should invest in someone taking care of that avenue. And
then for me, man, I'm typically, if I get an email, unless I'm in class teaching it, you're getting it back within minutes. It goes off. My phone goes off. It says, "Hey, bro, you got an email."
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up? Got someone? It's that simple.
Yep.
Right. Take 30 seconds and reply back.
Yep. Or have an auto message. I think there's a way to set it up.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's set up for that. I only have that set up in case I am in class teaching it and they don't go 3 hours, 4 hours without hearing
something. Yeah.
But yeah.
Because even that automated response, that still kind of shows me that someone has taken the time to at least put that in there.
Yeah. Mine says, hey, if we're not getting back to you, we're most likely teaching class. We'll get back to you as soon as we're done teaching for the evening. Thanks for...
And it's not making an excuse, but that's information for the person.
Right. Hey, we're not blowing you off.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to make communication with you. So the next piece, I guess... Well, actually, going back one step, one thing I had heard you mention before that I had never taken into consideration, and I actually did when I went on this trip, is you said to check the reviews.
Yeah. Current.
Yeah, make sure they're current. When you filter them, look at most recent. Don't just look at what's up there, because it could be a 5-star review from 5 years ago, and it could be a 1-star review from 5 years ago, because you can't remove those reviews as a page owner. Those things stay there.
They're there.
The only person that can remove them, I think, is the person that created them.
I assume you can edit that.
Or I know they can edit them, but I don't know if they may be able to remove them as well. Because that's information, someone who is, either been a drop-in, and it's unfortunate in the customer service world, people generally tend to leave poor reviews before they leave good reviews. But if they have a culture that has promoted people to leave good reviews, which I still haven't done for Brody yet.
No. I'm giving up. I'm giving up.
I'm waiting till that magic moment when he's least expecting it, and boom, he's going to get a review from me.
I'm not holding my breath. But go ahead, Mo.
Another reason, something else you can take from a drop-in visit is you might experience something different. Something different than you're used to from your regular gym, whether it be the way they run classes, the programming, or just experiencing another gym's environment, how they're physically set up. Maybe you've never seen a particular piece of equipment. Maybe you've never seen a particular rig. Maybe you've never done a certain type of warm-up. Just the opportunity to learn something different than what you're normally used to. Sometimes can be good, sometimes can be bad, but like we said, it's not wins and losses, it's wins and learns. You can maybe learn that, well, I never want to do that again. And sometimes that's usually the case, especially when you're someone who cares a lot about CrossFit or fitness in general, and you see something happening that isn't necessarily appropriate. You're like, I'm glad we don't do that.
Right. And that's happened, our members, we tell them to drop in when we actually encourage them, like, hey, look up a gym. We give them the same info that we just gave you. And for a couple reasons. One, it gives them a place to work out at, people that they should have sort of the same, interest, CrossFitters.
CrossFitters in general.
And then, like Mo said, check out some of the other stuff. It's a lot of our members have never had another CrossFit gym, so they don't know.
Okay.
Right? They don't know anything that what we don't do. Right? They know us and what we do. And So it's cool when they go out and I get the report back, and I'm not just saying
you get the debrief.
I'm not just saying this, but most of them aren't good. As far as, the warm-ups on the board, and everybody just does it at their own leisure.
I think, was it Matt Platt said he was on vacation and the lady was like sitting behind in the office with her jeans on and was like, "Hey, warm-up guy, what are you doing? Why are you taking so much time? We need to go work out."
Right. So you hear things like that. It's just, and that's stuff I do here. And it's like, it makes them appreciate what they have here, and the fact that, we take the time and we don't just throw you out there and let you do your own thing. And because I think warming up is pretty damn important.
Pretty important, yeah.
Right? I mean, we were about to hit 8. Our last set yesterday at back squat was 8 at 80%. Typically, your 80% is your 5 rep, so it's a really tough set. Mm-hmm. And if they're not ready and they go into that, and we don't express to them how challenging, my whiteboard thing yesterday was kind of like a, I don't know. I really wasn't motivating them, though. It wasn't. I was telling them how much it was going to suck, what they need to do, and that's just to prepare them mentally. Like, look, this last set is no joke. Mm-hmm. If you don't get dialed in these first 2 sets, okay, that third set's really challenging on the back end, and that last set is no joke. If you do not get your mind right for this, you're going to fail it, right? So I'm not sitting here like, oh, it's going to be awesome, rainbows and butterflies. No, dude, you're going to have to dig deep for those last 3 to 4 reps because it is no joke, right? So if we don't do our warm-up properly, and I don't prepare them mentally, now they're screwed.
Yeah,
they're not
absolutely.
going to hit it.
Another aspect of dropping in and visiting other gyms is you can expand your sense of community. So Allie Webster, a girl that goes to my gym, she, I think, went to South Carolina or something recently. She went on a cruise and she shot out there like, "Hey, does anybody know any gyms here?" And then boom, I know there were some people from XS that chimed in. They're like, "Hey, I've been to this gym at this place." And, being able to give feedback, it's because you've been to that gym,
right?
And you can personally vouch for them. So like if I'm like in the podcasting space, whenever I'm looking for new equipment, the first thing I do is I ask my friends that podcast, "Oh, hey, buy this microphone." So
after
now I have
ask me, right?
After I ask you, of course, because you're the technical expert. But
wow.
But I asked them, and now I have a personal testimonial as to why that microphone works versus me looking at Google searches or reading their spec sheets, because now I know someone who's used it. Same thing with the CrossFit space. I know someone who's been in that gym. I know that person's got their head on straight. So they had a legit reason, had a legit experience. I think I'm just going to go to that place.
I'm just going to let you know something, Mo. Because Monday Night Football, they hire athletes, not because they're great at speaking, because they know the game.
Very true.
Okay. So I don't need to have technical experience. You're my technical advisor. I'm just the guy telling you how I feel. I have feelings, Mo. I do. And I can set up microphones. What now?
Yes, you can.
And I can plug them in.
Yes, you can.
I know where the headphone jacks are, and I know which one's left and right because there's a L and an R on it.
Very true. Very true.
So yeah, guys, I know what I'm doing. Don't listen to Mo over here. Like I'm telling you, since he turned old, well, he's been old, but since he retired, he's been slipping a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We're having conversations like, if he reaches a certain point, we have to go put him down out back to excess. We'll film it though, because we need to document this for
this is for his own good.
This is for his own good. It's for the podcast. You guys can live through us.
You don't want to see him in this state, guys.
We'll give him a big bag of
Reese's Cups.
Of Reese's Cups and Nutter Puffs. And then we're going to put his ashes in a Halo Top ice cream container. Hey, Jenna, start tagging Halo Top too for me, please. We get some sponsorship.
But anyway, that sense of community as we get back on the rails. But, like you said, didn't you say one of the reasons you decided to become an owner was the drop-in that you had?
Yeah, actually. Well, let me back that up. He changed my views. Nick Birdsall up in CrossFit Acadia in Maine changed my views on what a trainer should be.
Okay.
Right? I had my L1, went there for a week and took us in. And it was just, it was a game-changing experience for me on what a trainer actually is. Where I was from, I had no mentor as far as any of the gyms actually that I've been to, that I started at and continued to go through and was currently at when I was up there. And that sucks. Like not having a mentor, I think is huge because you only know
what you know
inside that group. And if you don't have a trainer that goes over and beyond for every single person, then you don't, not that I didn't know I should, I didn't invest the amount of time that it actually takes to become a good trainer.
But the person that trained you only knew what they knew. And if they're not,
I never got trained though.
But I'm saying, if they're not that personality,
right.
We're like, hey, okay, I know you know how to set the clock. I know you know how to.
Right.
I know you can count to an hour. But hey, these are the other things you need to worry about. You know, being able to cater to each individual athlete. You know, and being able to walk the space and knowing how to stop that train wreck from happening, and knowing how to push this person a little bit more. You know, you didn't know.
Didn't know. Well, I got it more on the aspect of your learning never stops. And it wasn't, he was certified in a lot of things. That's not what certifications, post CrossFit, whatever, you want to do them, it's fine. I still think a lot of them are a joke for what you pay.
A lot of that stuff isn't cheap.
No. And it was more, there's an issue. I got to figure that issue out. I have to invest time to figure out what the issue is and figure it out, how to address it. And then that compounds. Every single time you invest time into research and looking at something and, one of my members is this. And you're always learning. You always should be learning. And I think that's the problem is I was never taught that because they never did it. None of my trainers ever did it. It was show up, get you through the workout, swing around I wasn't on the bands, but they let everybody just swing on their bands and no one had maxes and it's just a shit show. And, but
that's all you knew.
All I knew.
Yeah.
Until met Nick. I knew there was more to it because you know how I think, but it took my mind even to that next level.
You had all those why questions, but you didn't know how.
Yep.
So then you have this experience with him, and again, was this just a random drop in when you met him?
Yep. And I tell you, it caused me to see through the bull crap that was at our current gym and expect more. I went to the gym and I was like, if they opened up in Pickle, I would leave my gym and go there. That's the change. And then once that happens, then you know how my mind is I'm going to attack this. I'm going to see what this.
So now someone gave you a little nugget, a little appetizer. Now you're oh, there's more.
Yeah. Okay. And then then nonstop, I invested and just diverged into the Olympic lifting and just every aspect of being a trainer. And then from that point on, it kept compounding into what I am now. And it still compounds to this day. I learned everything. I learned something every single day that I can use. And I'm not just saying that just because I do. I learn stuff from my people just as much as they learn from me. I learn from them because they come at me with different angles. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I
give you something to think about.
Yeah. I'm like, and then you know what? That's when they get that 2:30 a.m. direct message on Instagram. Hey, we were talking 2 weeks ago. This is you.
Yep.
Right. And this is what I want you to start trying because maybe I couldn't figure it out and things like that. But yeah, huge thing. And that's what caused us to start literally expecting more at our gym. Wasn't happening. I can do it better. And I have done it better. I mean,
but again, had you not dropped in,
it's crazy, right?
Now your community expands not just from Ohio, but now all the way to Maine and everybody else in between.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Mo brought this topic up, and it's not like I don't tell all of our members, hey, just go visit all of our local gyms and hang out. I get the aspect of the community. Dropping in when you're on vacation is one thing. It's just kind of a weird feeling for me. I don't know, as an owner, your people just leave your gym to go hang out at another gym. It's kind of it's not protective, maybe. I don't know what the sensation is. It's why? I say why.
Why? Yeah.
Right?
That's a good question.
Why?
Yeah.
Did I mess up? Right? That's the first thing.
Is it me or is it you?
Yeah, right? Is it me or you? What's up? Doing an event, say they're doing a fundraiser charity thing, that's one thing. But through the week, just randomly going there, my alarms would be going off.
Why are they going there?
Yeah. Okay. Am I not giving them, and this is me as an owner, this is where we talk about owners don't ever take ownership. Did I do something that makes them want to explore another gym? Am I not offering them something that makes them want to go to another gym? What have I done to even let another gym spark their interest.
But that's provided that you are introspective enough as an owner to think that maybe you could be doing something better. Because we've seen in any aspect of business, and we'll take Toys R Us, for instance. They just went out of business. They've been around ever since I can remember.
That's a long time.
Which is a long time. But at the end of the day, what they did is they neglected the needs of the customer. And now one of the biggest toy stores that I can remember during my entire lifetime is no longer in a brick and mortar presence, because things that like Amazon.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And, Walmart. And
you got to be proactive, man.
You have to be marching forward. And Toys R Us, they just continue to use the same old business model, that legacy thinking. And now they're no longer in existence.
Yeah, and I'll say that. It's Amazon, as much as people hate on Amazon, you know why they hate on them, Mo? Because they're staying ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel. Like, I try to stay ahead of everybody else, and it pisses people off. But that's what I do. I'm not naive. You don't start a business from the square one and then stay the same until the end, because you will be Toys R Us, because that's just the reality, because you stop caring, because you stop investing the time. And when you stop investing time, you get bored. When you get bored, you get complacent. When you get complacent, you stop caring about your members. And then guess what? They're doing what we're just talking about. They're checking out other things, right? And that to me is the first thing I would say, hey, what's going on? Why are you going there? Like, that piss you off? Like, 'cause I know that, I can get a little heated, but no.
Did I leave the cap off the toothpaste?
Right. Yeah, something like that. No, I mean, that's the first thing I would say is I will always, God, we can go so far on this. I will always first off question me. If we've never lost, and I'm so proud of this. I really am. We've never lost a member to another gym, because if we lose one, it's what we always talk about. They had moved, finances.
Yeah, military, medical move.
Yeah, that's. I pride myself on that, and I pride our community on that, because we give them what they need and want continuously. We always invest into them. So if you're happy, you're happy. You don't leave, and then that's why I would take that as a a
victory. Yeah,
I would take that as, I'm saying, if they started searching, I'd be like, hey, what did I do, and what do I need to do to fix it? What am I not offering that they are? And then have a real moment with myself and make the corrections.
That introspective moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I had to make sure that people understood why I was doing what I was doing when I go visit other gyms, because I'm a DJ. I go play music at other people's gyms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely. For me, it's a little bit different. I'm not going out, looking for a side chick.
Right.
For me, it's a matter of like, I want to be part of the community and how I can augment people's competitions or events and things like that by bringing music into an event. But like I said, I'm not just go out there. Sometimes you hear people like box hopping. They just go from one box to another because they don't like the programming or this or that, or just cherry picking. Oh, I don't like this WOD today. I'll go drop into this other box. Things like that. That's not my aim. My aim is to, help become part of the community from the competition or event aspect.
And I guess that's probably why I'm struggling with this one, Mo, is that there's good and bad to this.
There's two sides to everything.
Yeah, but when you brought this up, I was like, why the hell are we talking about this? But I get it.
Why the hell do people listen to our show?
Yeah,
we don't know.
No, we have no idea. No, because the positives is what happened to me as a trainer. The positives is that if you didn't do this, we wouldn't even be having this.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having this show.
Right. So
I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have met Aaron, wouldn't have announced at the Arnold.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be announcing at the Unicorn in the fall.
Oh, you're doing that?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, and then having other opportunities come up, being asked to help manage events, when I go to Texas and work with Trinity, just things like that, but I've never, like I said, I'm not looking for a side chick. I'm looking to help be part of the community. Yeah.
And I guess that's a hard line. Like it's that's why there's some really good has come out of trying out other gyms in the area. I would say if I had to put money on it, and I love to gamble, but can't with fantasy football season's coming up, baby. DraftKings, I'm taking your money. That most of the situations are, if people are checking out another gym, it's typically because they are unhappy with something. And that is it. Unless you're gym hopping. That happens in your bigger cities who have, like 60,
300 members.
Yeah.
Yeah. 60 gyms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like we've just talked about this past segment, when we're talking about the community aspect, you learn something, you bet your ass I took the smashing to AKP and dropped that on people because I had never seen that before.
Because you don't like them, Mo.
Well, I still don't like it, but I know I have to do it.
I said you don't like them.
Oh.
Mo was almost in tears and he brought that to you guys. Just let you know.
Hey, guys, my boy broke me off. So guess what? You're going to suffer too.
Hey, I'm only trying to make you better. That's like the best trainer line. Like, I'm only trying to make you better. I know it hurts. It's okay. You're going to feel a slight pinch.
This is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. Again, me and you never meet. We never have this show.
Yeah.
I never have those other opportunities.
Which means no world domination.
No world domination. I never knew about Ramwad till I dropped in on another gym in town. Didn't know anything about it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting that there's something offered and I don't have to go to a yoga studio and learn how to do mobility. And just had a lot of learning opportunities, and back to the, early points, just getting to meet people. There were some people that work in my hospital that I didn't even know CrossFitted because our hospital has about 2,000 people in it. And as I've gone, trying to advertise for competitions or DJing other things like, oh, you CrossFit too, and just things I never knew just because I don't have a relationship on a daily basis with some of those people.
Right.
And as we've talked about throughout this show, going to other facilities makes you appreciate what you have. As much as I love to travel, and when I was in the military, I loved getting deployed. I didn't love anything more than coming home. Because it's home. You can go visit, you can go do all these other things, but at the end of the day, you're coming home.
Yeah, we started our training course yesterday, and I was telling them, we talk about what we can offer them as a gym. And one of them is like, it's going to be some of the nicest people you ever meet. And that we do things outside the gym. It's extension of your family. And we talk, I said, and what really happens, guys, is that, you actually see everybody here more than you see your own family. Yeah. So they become your family, right?
And that's very true because we see these people more than we see our own parents for the most part.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you work out here multiple times a week. You get respect for one another because you suffer. You guys have something. Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
I see you dead laying there and I'm already walking around. And then guess what? Next day I'm in your spot and you're walking around.
Yeah.
And through that, you get this bond in this relationship. And so, yeah, I think it's really cool to, you spend so much time here. You just become almost like a unit. And I think that's one of the coolest things about it being home, because you do spend so much time here. And that's kind of why we invest
so much into the aesthetics of this place.
Yeah. It, like we've talked, I don't do it for anybody else, but our people. I want to give them another place to kind of hang out and chill and I put this counter up. I think the only person that uses it's really Jenna. I just cleaned it, and if I could cut it and force the far left where she always sits,
it would still be Jenna's.
Well, I'm saying that there was the only thing that had like barbecue sauce on it.
Yeah. So bringing this week's episode to a close, having those experiences when you're out and about, away from home, it helps you understand and experience maybe why you're doing certain things, gives you a greater appreciation for what you have. Not that I'm saying anybody out there is neglectful of, what their home is, but it certainly can give you an appreciation for what you do have within your own communities.
And outside, right? You talk when I went to Florida, I talked to Corey. He listens to our podcast down there in Florida. So it's pretty cool that he does listen to that, and very receptive, very good trainer.
So just as a reminder for Smash Fest, we are going to have 7'5" Clothing here and Wally the owner. So if you want to come meet him, that'll be pretty sweet. That's going to be going down on 8 September. I will be upstairs in the loft dropping beats while Brody is on the floor.
Dropping people
and rocking the mic. For this week's call to action, why don't you tell us about your favorite drop-in experiences that you've had while you've been out and about away from home?
Or your least favorite.
Or your least favorite.
You guys, I'm the asshole. I'm going to bring it up, Mo. Like, it's not always cool.
It's not always good. Yeah.
Right. And that's the reality, because you talk about, you appreciate what you have because you go to somewhere and you're like, it could be this. So there is worse out there, right?
Yes, there is.
Like, you know, some of our people told us this. Like,
yes, they have.
I say, they message me like, I don't know what to do. I have no other option.
Yeah.
And like, well, that's the problem. Like, you have no other option.
Yeah.
Like, or there could be another option. It could be worse.
Right? There you go.
Or it could be better. Oh, yeah. I can be nice.
So we just got done talking about why you should visit other CrossFit gyms. And that brings this week's episode to a close. I'm Mo, and I'm out.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the One More Rep podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at One More Rep Podcast, or on Twitter at Can I Get One More, or shoot us an email at canigetonemore@gmail.com.
And he said, what I like is he likes the competitiveness of. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, we can't hear it. Like, how can you gently lay down a big bag, Mo? Like,
I don't think you can.
I mean,
That's like trying to gently lay down on a waterbed.
that's like eating a chip in a library.
That's going to be the outtake. I was like, what is...
I seen on Mo's face. I thought something was about to happen. Then I heard it. All right, you can't move anymore. You're suspended.
Yeah, now you're on timeout. Like, absolutely.
Most fucking whispering. It's like Jenna. It's like Jenna trying to gently sit down in this beanbag. Like, what's going on? Oh, look who it is. Come on in.
Hi.
Want to get in your first podcast? Come on. Come on. We're on video and everything. It can be edited. You can. Mom, I'm going to put you in it. That's my.
Yeah.
Where is she at? There's my mom right there. There's my dad.
Where's the trash he's taking out? Come on home.
That's what Mo said.
Do you need him to cut the grass?
You didn't make the bed?
You need the grass.
There's 30 laundry on the floor. Get home. You're going to get grounded.
Are you going to pay me?